Hi, hello. I'm an animator in training. Today, I would like to read a story from Grimm's Fairy Tales. Now, I know we've all heard the fairy tales like Cinderella, Snow White, and others, thanks to certain film companies, and we know their true, dark, grim endings. But as much as we think we know them all, there are hundreds more fairy tales we never heard of. Some are similar, some differ in name, while others differ entirely. This tale is one of those differing tales. So, please enjoy The Devil Giant with Three Golden Hairs. Brr, 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 brr. There once was a poor woman who gave birth to a son. And since the boy was born with a colon, that's a rare birth, only occurs 1 in 80,000. There was a prophecy about him.
It is prophesied that in his 14th year he will marry the king's daughter.
Woo! And the village celebrated in celebration of the luck child. But who walked into town? The king himself. But no one recognized him. He soon hears the prophecy about the newborn who would marry his daughter. Woo! The king, who had a bad heart or was just overly protective, was angry about the prophecy about some peasant marrying his daughter. The king went to the parents with a large sum of money, asking to have the child. The parents said to themselves, "It is a luck child. Everything will be okay." And they gave their child to him. And the king put the newborn in a box and threw it into a river. Fortunately, the child was found by a boy working at a water mill. The boy gave the child to the miller and his wife, who were joyful because they did not have any children, and they became a loving family. 14 years later, the king, who apparently did not own a coach in his day, came to the water mill for shelter from a storm. While there, the miller and his wife, like proud parents do, bragged about their son, saying, "Oh, this is our son. Oh, not really our son. We found him in a box in the river." It was at this point that the king realized his infanticide didn't work. Thus, he made a new plan to prevent the prophecy. He told the miller and his wife that he needed a letter delivered to his queen, and the boy would be a good choice to deliver it. But while the parents prepped their son for such an honorable request from royalty, the king wrote in the letter, "As soon as the boy delivers this letter, execute him." And so the luck child, actually, I'm just gonna give him a name since the book doesn't call him anything else than the luck child. Let's call him Mo. Mo set out to deliver the king's letter and got lost in the woods. Mo luckily found a small cottage in the woods. He was warned to stay away from the cottage, for there were bandits that made it their home. But he was too tired to care and slept on a bench. Guess who came home late that night? Dum dum dum. The bandits, angry that someone came into their cottage and was sleeping on their favorite bench. While Mo slept, they searched his belongings, surprised to find the king's letter, but were even more surprised when they read it. Now they felt bad for the kid. He was walking to his doom. With compassion in their hearts, they ripped up the letter and wrote a new one. After exchanging ideas, they finally wrote down, "As soon as this boy delivers this letter, marry him to the king's daughter." While containing their mirth, they replaced the letter in Mo's backpack. Next morning, they pointed him the right direction towards the queen's castle. Mo delivered the letter to the queen. Mission accomplished. Um, uh, Sweetheart, this boy who delivered this letter? Yes, you have to marry him. Wait, what? And faster than you can say wedding invitations, Mo was married to Princess Frances Elda Genevieve immediately. Fortunately, Princess Frances found Mo to be an agreeable and handsome companion, so she agreed to live with him in joy and contentment. And yes, I'm sure they would have gone on some dates, until the king arrived expecting an execution and not a union. The king yelled at the queen, but she showed him the letter to marry the princess. The king was furious. He didn't stop the prophecy, but he wasn't going to relent. The king announced that Mo cannot be married to the princess unless he retrieved 3 golden hairs from the devil giant. Okay, in some versions it's a giant, in other versions it's the devil himself. I thought of combining them to make it more interesting. Either way, Mo had to get 3 golden hairs from a powerful, fearsome creature that could mean the end for the luck child. And Mo said, "Okay, I'll do it." Mo set off from the castle with his wife and parents mourning for his eventual demise, and the king smirking. Mo traveled to the devil giant's home, but on the way, he encountered 3 people with some strange problems. One was a town's guard who said that the town's fountain that once flowed with wine now can't produce a single drop of water. Another town's guard in another town said that their town's tree that once produced golden apples now can't grow a single leaf. The last was an old man who was willing to give Mo a ride across the river, said he can never leave his raft, only to and from the ends of the river. Mo promised them all that he would help them after his quest. Finally, Mo arrived at the devil giant's home. Now it turns out the devil giant wasn't home, but his grandma was. Mo explained to her how he needed to get 3 golden hairs to appease the king, and now he has 3 mysteries to solve. The grandmother said she would help him, and turned him into an ant. I'm sure she's a licensed fairy godmother. She tells Mo to hide in the folds of her robe, and when the devil giant comes, she will try to get the 3 golden hairs and ask her grandson about the 3 mysteries, since the devil giant knew many things. Later, the devil giant comes home. The first thing he said was, "I smell the blood of a Christian." Grandma said,
Oh, some missionaries came by. I told them I wasn't interested.
So after dinner, the tired devil giant falls asleep on his grandmother's lap, just as she planned. Carefully, she plucked a hair from his head. Dunk! Oh! What? Grandma! What happened?
Oh, sorry, dear. I had a nightmare and accidentally yanked one of your hairs.
She told him that she had a nightmare about a fountain that once flowed with wine, that can't produce a single drop of water now, like the town far, far away. The devil giant gloated. The fools, if they only knew. There is a toad sitting on a rock inside of the fountain. If they kill it, the fountain of wine would flow again. And with that, he fell back asleep. And repeated from there. Grandma plucks a hair. Devil giant wakes up. Grandma explains her nightmare like one of the 3 mysteries. And the devil giant explains. He says that there is a toad inside of the wine fountain, a mouse gnawing at the roots of the golden apple tree, and the old man, in order to be free, must hand his oar to another person, thus freeing him from the raft, and his curse would be passed on to the one holding the oar. And Mo, as an ant, heard all of this. In the morning, the devil giant left to do whatever devil giants did back then. The grandmother turned Mo back to normal and gave the 3 golden hairs to him. She also reminded him about the 2 towns and the old man's solutions. So Mo, with 3 golden hairs, headed home. After crossing the river, Mo told the old man that the next time someone asked to cross the river, he should give them his oar to be free. And Mo walked on. He stopped at the golden apple tree town, told him about the mouse gnawing at the roots. They killed it and rewarded Mo. Mo, with 2 donkeys loaded with gold, walked on. Stopped at the wine fountain town. Told them about the toad. They killed it and rewarded Mo. And Mo, with 4 donkeys laden with gold, walked on until he came back to the castle, back to his wife and parents. The king, after seeing Mo return with 3 golden hares and 4 donkeys loaded with gold, he loathingly allowed the marriage, though he did ask how Mo obtained the donkeys. "Oh, I got it from the shores of the devil giant's home. Just ask the old man on the raft to give you a lift." So, while Mo, Princess Frances, Mo's parents, and the queen celebrated the hero's return, the king rode off to the devil giant's home. If the lowly peasant can do it, then so can he, the king. The king demanded the old man to carry him across the river. The old man, remembering Mo's words, offered his oar to the king to row himself. The king, being impatient, took the oar. The old man was able to step off of that old raft and step onto dry land for the first time in who knows how long. As for the king, he rowed to the other side of the river, realizing later that he can never step off of the raft. He's probably still there today, rowing back and forth, but going nowhere. Well, that kind of ended in happily ever after, except for the king. So, on the surface, the lesson is don't give your children to royalty, and when you get rich, you can lie. The deeper lesson, don't be afraid to take on challenges. Life is full of them. Who knows? Completing one challenge can solve others. Thank you for watching.